OfficialBehindTheGloves.com in association with S-Jam Boxing, here with the WBC lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney. I say WBC lightweight champion of the world, and I put it with a question because there's so many questions about that right now. Mauricio Suleiman tells you you're the WBC champion. They tell Teofimo he's the WBC champion. Ryan Garcia is now your mandatory for the WBC title, but if you're not the champion, how is he a mandatory to you? Are you as confused as the fans and boxing people about this?
I want to say I'm confused on if I'm the champion. I know for sure that I'm the champion, but I'm just confused on the undisputed situation and how that works, all the franchise title and how all that shit works. But at the end of the day, the people know, the true fans know that I'm the real WBC champion. And if you want the real undisputed title, and you really want the world to not question you being undisputed, because that's what it's about. If you undisputed, it is no dispute if you're the champion or if you're not. So if you're questioning it, you can't be undisputed.
Now you're in an era right now where you are a part of the new era that is being dubbed the Four Kings. Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Tank Davis, and yourself. How do you feel having that recognition? Obviously, you guys haven't fought yet. You guys are circling one another. But how do you feel being a part of that and having that recognition?
I mean, it's great to be compared to, such a great era in boxing, a legendary era. So I'm forever grateful to be compared to them. But at the end of the day, we got to fight each other to really make it set in stone that we are the new era. We are the new guys. We are the new Four Kings of boxing. We got to fight each other and make exciting fights and show the world that we're the truth.
Ryan Garcia tweeted last night that his next fight is going to be announced incredibly soon. As I stated earlier, we know he's your mandatory for this. Do you know anything about that? Are you in negotiations with Ryan or Oscar to actually have that bout next? Yeah, no, we're not in negotiations at all. We haven't started. He hasn't, showed any interest in fighting me. Golden Boy hasn't shown any interest in, pursuing a fight. So from what I know, it's nothing to do with me. Now, going back to the Four Kings situation and everything, it's Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran. Out of those four, which one was your favorite? Which one did you look up to?
Sugar Ray, yeah. They were all great fighters, don't get me wrong, but Sugar Ray I feel like Sugar Ray out of the Four Kings is more of my style, the most I resemble out of those four guys.
I was there at your last fight in Florida when you fought Yuriorkis Gamboa. We spoke right after, and the main thing you said, and the one thing that I caught out of it, was that you are interested in making the main fights, the big fights. Yeah. That's what you're seeking. That's what you're looking for. Teofimo and you have been going back and forth. Obviously, this whole WBC conversation and situation is actually what's fueling this, because, the confusion of the crown and everything. He corrected Lance Pugmire. He corrected Michael Coppinger on their podcast, saying that he's the undisputed one. He gave you no recognition as it pertains to the title. Yeah. How is that going? I know you want that Teofimo fight. Again, you two have been going back and forth. Do you have any conversations with Teofimo about making that fight?
No. Teofimo said that he was going to send me and Cambosos, whatever. I don't know how to say his name like that. But said that he was going to send me and him a contract. Neither one has got a contract. Teofimo says one thing in this interview and another thing in a total different interview. Just yesterday he said I had to fight Rolly to fight him, when I really don't need Teofimo to become a star. Teofimo is not somebody that I need. I still make more money than Teofimo Lopez with fighting Gamboa and fighting whoever that I fight. So for me to say that I have to go through Rolly to fight you is ridiculous, because I really don't need you, Teofimo.
Speaking of Rollies, he launched the video yesterday. He was on YouTube Live, and he said that you are the weakest out of all of those four and that he could beat you. He's been wanting to fight. He's also been saying if you don't think that he's anything, you should just fight him and beat him. What are your thoughts on Rolly's comments?
Of course, Rolly has a lot to say. But, when you mention the Four Kings, do you mention Rolly? Does anybody mention Rolly? Did you see Rolly's last fight?
Yes, I did.
Did you honestly think that he won the fight?
It was questionable. Yes, correct. That's accurate. It was questionable. You could have gone either way.
Everyone's that I've asked this question to a lot of interviewers, a lot of reporters, and they said that they didn't think that he wanted to fight. I didn't think that he wanted to fight. So I think he should go rematch the guy who really just beat him and show the world that he actually won the fight.
Now, you just said no one mentions Rollies when they mention the Four Kings and everything. Going back to the Four Kings, somebody else who chimed in and gave their opinion about the Four Kings, Shakur Stevenson. Obviously, he's at 130, not 135, but he says he's on the come up as well. He should be mentioned in that criteria with you guys, in that Four Kings, obviously making it 5 now. But your thoughts on Shakur, his skill, and his...
I think that Shakur is a terrific fighter. I think that he has a bright future, and he will, be... in the end, he will be at the top with whoever makes out of this Four King situation. Whoever comes out on top, I think that Shakur will definitely be there one day. But I don't think that is any disrespect to him. I think when they mention the Four Kings, they're mentioning the lightweights, like the guys that are at lightweight, and the 4 guys that are at the same weight. He hasn't fought at lightweight yet, so I don't think that they disrespect him. I think that he's taking it the wrong way.
Now, again, as I stated, all 4 of you guys are basically circling one another at the Ryan Garcia fight. You were there and everything. Everybody at the Zone was saying that Ryan Garcia is now your mandate, but you heard Ryan Garcia. The main fight that he's asking for, the one that he wants, is Tank. Your thought, do you think at that point he's just overlooking you, or does he feel that he would want to just take Tank out just to get him out of the conversation, as he's saying he'll knock him out in 2 rounds?
I think he just, I don't think he's overlooking me. I think that he just wants to fight Tank and get him out the way, or, he wants to make that big fight happen and, move forward after that.
Now, you and Ryan obviously have a history. I believe you guys fought twice in the amateurs and everything.
We fought a few times.
Yeah, we fought a few times. From what I know, it's basically been 50-50 every time you guys have fought. Why have you guys not only circled each other now, but ever since the amateurs have actually been like somewhat attached at the hip there?
I don't know. It's like a rivalry that pretty much has came up since the amateurs. We've always been the same way. We've always been the top guys from the amateurs to the pros now, and it all makes for a huge build up and a huge fight.
Obviously, you're your own promoter, Devin Haney Promotions and everything. Ryan Garcia has Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar made a comment recently stating that he wants to make Ryan bigger than Canelo. Obviously, Canelo right now is the man. He is the main guy in boxing, the face of boxing. Him, Anthony Joshua, a couple of other names you could throw in there. What do you need to do as your self-promoter to actually get to that level and promote yourself there? And also, you see Ryan Garcia, the Instagram following he has and everything. What do you need to do to get to that level?
I mean, everybody's path is different. At the end of the day, my main focus is to, keep winning. I want all the belts in my weight division. Of course, coming with that, fame will come, money will come, everything will come in due time. But at the end of the day, I want belts more than anything.
All 4 of you guys have 0 on that loss column. Who do you feel will be the first one to take that first L?
Whoever the first one that is to fight me. So we just got to see whoever that is.
You were again going back to Ryan Garcia's last fight. You were there live when he got dropped by Luke Campbell. What went through your head? Because again, that was the very first time any of us seen him drop like that. So what was your thoughts?
I was surprised. I didn't think that Luke would be any type of competition for him. I thought he would just blow through him, but it was surprising. It showed that Ryan could be hurt, but it also showed that Ryan has grit and he has heart, and that he was able to get back up and come out even stronger.
Have you ever been in danger like that? Obviously, we've never seen it in a fight in boxing, but during the amateurs or at any point in time, have you ever been in trouble like that? No, never at all. Now, we know Tank, promoter, Floyd Mayweather. You have a history with Floyd. He's helped you out plenty of ways. How does that relationship? Does it hinder Gervonta? Does it hurt Gervonta? Does it at any point in time just make him question Floyd's loyalty to him having you around?
I don't know what it does to their relationship, but because me and Floyd, we never even talk about Tank or talk about nothing about him, so I don't know.
You recently compared yourself to Floyd, calling yourself basically a reincarnation of Pretty Boy Floyd and everything. I have told you many a times. I remember one time we were at a Staples Center. I think it was after the Wilder Fury fight that you remind me of Floyd. Many times I've told you that. I've seen you physically and even talent-wise. I've told you that. Why now? Why come out now and tweet that, saying that you to yourself, you feel you're a reincarnation of Pretty Boy Floyd?
I was just watching like just basically like a documentary on like him just on his rise. It's like it was a video like on the rise of Floyd, and it just like just the way that his career like played out when he was calling out guys, and they Oscar De La Hoya was making ton more money than him, and getting the fame and the clout and everything, and Floyd was Floyd had the talent, but Floyd wasn't like, they wasn't recognizing Floyd. Floyd couldn't get the big fights. He kept calling for those guys, and the guys wouldn't fight him. I just feel like I'm at that point in my career where Pretty Boy was.
Going back to that,
before he turned into money.
Do you feel that? Do you feel at times that you're being slighted, that you're being looked over, or that you're just not getting those fights because a lot of people recognize the skill, but you're more risk than reward for most people?
I don't say that I'm getting looked over. I just feel like I'm getting ducked. I feel like they just like they're ducking me. I wouldn't say that they're not giving me my just due or not, because I feel like they obviously are giving me my just due, and they are giving me my respect, because by showing me that they don't want to fight, by showing me that they're not quick to call me out. I would, if guys were quick to say, oh, give me Devin Haney, give me Devin Haney, give me Devin Haney, then of course I would, I would feel some kind of way. I would feel like I had to prove something, which I still do feel like I have to prove something, but I would feel like I had to prove something more. Only guy who's been calling my name out is fucking Rolly, and what do I have to gain from fucking Rolly?
You said you wanted to prove something in the last fight versus Gamboa. You shut him out. Yeah. Completely. No one's ever done that. No one's ever really completely shut out Gamboa. Terrence Crawford had trouble with him. Gervonta Davis had trouble with him. What message did you feel shutting Gamboa down completely, a boxer of his skill level? What message do you feel you sent? I
just showed that I'm a master boxer, and I have crazy ring IQ to go in there and not take any punishment against Gamboa. It's shown that the top guys haven't been able to do that.
You just stated right now, what do you gain from fighting somebody like Rollies? If one of the other four kings, as being called, don't step up to the plate and fight you next, who is next for Devin Haney?
Then I want to go down to my next mandatory, which is Javier Fortuna.
How do you see that going? Javier Fortuna is a very, very crafty veteran. Same thing as Gamboa.
Explosive fight. It's going to be a great fight. Of course, I see myself being victorious. I see myself making it a easy fight. But I think that it will be good for boxing if it happens. Of course, I want the top guys, but if I can't get them, then I gotta go the next in line and see whoever's the next in line. If I can't get him, I'm gonna go next in line like I've been doing.
Do you see any trouble making any of the fights with the other three guys, considering their promotional and TV status?
No, I don't feel like it should be any trouble making these fights, because if the fighters want the fights to happen, we should be able to make them happen. If the fans want to make it happen, the fighters want to make it happen. We have control. Us fighters have control. We have say.
What are you doing more to be more? Well, obviously you were there at the fight for the Ryan Garcia. You were there, I believe, also in Dallas for Spence Garcia and everything. You're making yourself more visible out there for the fans. Is that just so more people get to know more about you, more about Devin Haney?
Of course. That's all part of it. That's all part of the job, of course. Going to these fights, making appearances, and letting the fans see you. That's just part of the game.
Let the fans know something about you that most likely they have no idea about. Something like a talent, something that you do on the regular that most people don't know you do. Just something that you would want to tell the fans so they get to know a little bit more about you personally.
I don't know. That's a hard question. I feel like the fans know me. I feel like I just put everything out, in the open. Like, what you see is what you get. Like, I don't know. That's a hard question. I would have to think about it some more.
Now, I want to go back to the Pretty Boy Floyd comparison, and before he turned into money and everything. Other fighters in the past have compared themselves to Floyd. The main one that comes to mind is Adrian Broner, and you've seen the road he went ever since that comparison happened. It's been rocky for him. How do you avoid that?
I feel like he compared himself more to Money Mayweather, not like Pretty Boy Floyd. Like, he was more like when Floyd, was Money Mayweather instead of when he was Pretty Boy. And that's why I'm gonna compare myself to when Floyd didn't get the millions and millions and millions of dollars yet. Floyd was still on the come up like me.
A lot of people don't know how to distinguish the difference between Pretty Boy Floyd and Money Mayweather. Yeah. You and I, we've obviously seen it from the beginning and everything. How do you distinguish the difference between both? Besides, him on the come up and him making the money, millions there. What was different between those two fighters?
Floyd was more defensive minded as he got older. When he was Pretty Boy, he was more offensive minded. He threw a lot more punches, and he was like he would try to hurt his opponents more.
Finally, what do you have to finally say to the fans? What do you have to say? You know what? No, send a message to the other three guys. Send a message to Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, and Teofimo Lopez.
You guys only have a matter of time to keep ducking me. Pretty soon, you guys are gonna be cornered, and you gotta fight me. So, be ready, prepare, and because pretty soon, you guys will be facing me.
Now send a message to the fans that follow you, basically want to follow you, or get to know more about you.
Thank you for all the support. Keep supporting me. You guys will see me, against one of these top guys real soon, and yeah.
All right, I thank you for your time, Devin.
Thank you.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else